My wife's first love wanted to make a comeback after his divorce. To help him, she snatched my leading role and forced me to be his stunt double. Fans of The First Love dragged me online, making me trend for all the wrong reasons. So what if you're a newly crowned Best Actor? They said. You're just Samuel's stunt double now. I didn't say anything, just silently accepted my wife's decision. Later, there was an accident on set. My wife got seriously burned saving Samuel's face. I was devastated. She hugged me, whispering softly to comfort me. It's okay, honey. I'm the director, not an actor. I don't have to rely on my looks to earn a living. I pushed her away in tears. But it's your face that I love. What do I do now? You don't look like her anymore. When Isabelle announced that the movie was getting a new lead, I was hooked up in wire harnesses, ready to shoot a fight scene. Just as I was in position, the crew lowered me down. I was confused, not sure what was happening, just feeling the strange, sympathetic looks from those around me. An assistant named Lisa rushed over, almost in tears. Jordan, bad news. Isabelle just announced they're replacing the lead actor. Before I could react, I was dragged to the dressing room, where Isabelle and Samuel were waiting. Samuel looked worn out, in a white casual suit with red, swollen eyes. Isabelle gazed at him with pure sympathy. She got straight to the point. Jordan, Samuel's divorced and wants to make a comeback, so I've decided to have him play your role. Ah, so it was all to pave the way for her first love. Samuel's divorce was already a trending topic for days, and Isabelle hadn't reacted at all. I thought she'd moved on, but apparently not. A wave of bitterness welled up in my throat that I couldn't swallow down. I sniffed and said, "But I love this role, Isabelle. You know that. I haven't taken any gigs in months, constantly studying the script and training in Kung Fu." Kung Fu? Samuel suddenly interrupted. Isabelle, are there a lot of fight scenes in this movie? Isabelle nodded, yes, and some of them are quite dangerous. Samuel looked uneasy. Isabelle, I haven't acted in a long time. Isabelle gave him a reassuring look, then turned to me. Jordan, since you've already been training, you can be Samuel's stunt double. I laughed in frustration. Not only was she taking my lead role, but she also wanted me to be the stunt double? Isabelle, do you think I'm easy to push around? She frowned slightly. What? You're not willing? Of course not. I responded, Isabelle, did you forget? Last week I just won Best Actor. You want a newly crowned Best Actor to be someone's stunt double? I'd be a joke in the industry. So what? She smirked at me. You win one Best Actor award and forget where you came from? If Samuel hadn't let you be his butt double, nobody would know who you are, Jordan. Yes, my first job in this industry was as Samuel's body double. For a scene less than 3 seconds long in the final cut, I was naked, kneeling in the freezing snow for 3 hours. All because someone commented, Jordan's body is great, even better than Samuel's. I shivered, instinctively glancing at Samuel. Samuel lightly patted Isabelle's shoulder. Isabelle, don't say that. Jordan, don't blame Isabelle. She's just trying to help me. My family's going through something, my wife divorced me, and I really need a comeback chance. So what? I said blankly, you come crying to my wife for help, steal my role, and that's okay? You're basically a homewrecker. Samuel's eyes filled with tears. Isabelle was furious and slapped me across the face. Jordan, what nonsense are you saying? Samuel is not a homewrecker. I covered my slapped cheek, staring at her in disbelief. Isabelle, did you hit me? She looked at her hand, a bit of guilt in her eyes. But the next second, Samuel tugged on her clothes, teary-eyed. Isabelle, don't blame Jordan. It's my fault for asking you for help. Isabelle's expression changed. Jordan, you should be grateful to be Samuel's double. If you didn't look a bit like him, do you think I'd even notice you? Without me, a penniless orphan like you wouldn't even make it in the door of this industry, let alone get a lead role. What she said was true, and I couldn't argue. But I wasn't going to relent. I refused to be Samuel's double. Seeing this, Isabelle went straight to blackmail. Jordan, you don't want your career to end with the last movie, right? I looked up sharply, meeting Isabelle's cold eyes. It was like an invisible hand gripped my heart tightly, making it ache painfully. I closed my eyes. Fine, whatever you say. I'll do as you say. Isabelle chuckled and hugged me. That's more like it. As long as you listen, I'll make you the lead in all my future films. Samuel made a grand return after his divorce, replacing the newly crowned Best Actor Jordan as the lead in Isabelle's new film. To repay the past kindness, the newly crowned Best Actor Jordan volunteered to be Samuel's stunt double. Jordan might become the first Best Actor to work as a stunt double. These topics shot up to the top 3 trending searches like a rocket launch. Samuel's fans were throwing all kinds of sarcasm my way. So what if there's a new Best Actor? He's still standing in for my Samuel. What can I say? Samuel was Isabelle's first love. The one she couldn't have. Poor Jordan, he's just standing in for Samuel both on and off camera. Even some bystanders couldn't help but comment. It's one thing to have the main character steal your man, but making the new Best Actor do the stunt work? Has Isabelle lost it? She'd do anything for her first love. Samuel isn't so simple either. He hooked up with Isabelle right after his divorce. Isn't that just ignoring the truth and still getting involved? Samuel's fans have this overwhelming sense of superiority. My Samuel's life is just great because someone is willing to spoil him. When the real deal is back, who'd choose a fake? Isabelle came crawling to him, but my Samuel didn't do anything. Since I gave my fans a heads up, even though they were upset, they kept quiet. I didn't say a word, just let Samuel's fans have their moment. Getting mocked on trending searches is embarrassing, but it's got its benefits too. A very popular domestic variety show reached out to me. My manager, James, was overjoyed and quickly sent me over. Who knew I'd get stopped by Isabelle halfway there? You don't need to go to the variety show taping. I've already talked to the team. Samuel's going instead. He needs the attention more right now. You're coming with me to the set to shoot a scene for Samuel. When I got to the set, I found out it wasn't a stunt scene. After the country's collapse, as the most valued son of the Queen, the main character was tortured and humiliated in public after being captured by the enemy army. There were a lot of nude scenes, and because the counterpart actors were extras, Samuel didn't want to shoot it. James was furious. It's already enough to stand in as a stunt double for Samuel, and now they want him to be a body double too? No way, I won't allow it. Isabelle, however, couldn't care less. What's the big deal? Jordan used to be Samuel's body double before. Plus, we signed a double contract. Body double, stunt double, they're all doubles, aren't they? She turned to me, pleading slightly. Jordan, the camera's rolling. If this scene doesn't get done, the losses will be huge. Just help me out. Okay? Isabelle has the looks of a top female star. Her eyebrows and eyes are just perfect, especially with that red tear mole under her left eye. It looks like a star twinkling. I couldn't resist when she gave me that mixture of a plea and a playful look. I reached up, gently touched Isabelle's tear mole, and smiled. All right, I'll do it. The extras were all professionals, so it didn't take long to shoot the scene. But it was a freezing winter day, and being exposed outside for a while got to me. That night, I spiked a high fever. Through the haze, I felt a cold hand on my forehead. Why's he so hot? Isabelle's voice sounded tender. Jordan, wake up a bit. I'll take you to the hospital. I opened my eyes and saw her struggling to get me out of bed and support my weight. Memories flooded back. Back then, someone else had looked after me like this when I had a raging fever, staying up with me all night. Just as we left the garage, Isabelle's phone rang. The sound snapped me back to reality. It was Samuel. What? The dog's missing? Don't panic. I'm on my way. After hanging up, she looked worried. Samuel's dog is missing, and he's in tears. I need to go see him right away. She pulled over. Jordan, get out and wait at the security booth. I'll call your manager to take you to the hospital. My head was foggy, but I followed her instructions and got out. A cold wind blew, and I could barely stand. Isabelle didn't even look back before she sped off in her pink Porsche. Watching the car speed away made me tear up. She's not the same one. James is a reliable manager, and I didn't wait long before he showed up, taking care of me all the way. He couldn't help but curse a little when he realized Isabelle wasn't there when he dropped me off. I didn't say a word, just stared blankly at Samuel's latest post. Lost and found. The picture showed a dog held in slender, pale hands. I recognized them immediately as Isabelle's, with a ring identical to mine on her ring finger. Samuel's post quickly trended. Not long after, people began speculating about Isabelle's identity from the wedding ring on her finger in the comments. Samuel eventually replied to all the guesses. "Don't overthink it, everyone. She was just helping me find my dog." Coincidentally, someone posted a photo of me getting in 4 in the hospital. Samuel's fans were overjoyed. So Isabelle would rather help Samuel find his dog than stay with Jordan at the hospital. I guess it's clear who she cares about. What a joke. Jordan isn't even as important as Samuel's dog. I touched my ring and decided to take it off, tossing it into the trash without a second thought. Isabelle didn't come home all night. The next day, she sent someone to bring me to the set again, saying I had to shoot a water scene for Samuel. Couldn't believe it. I had a fever of 104 degrees last night, it still hasn't gone down, and now you want me to shoot a water scene? Isabelle only glanced at the fever patch on my forehead. Relax, it's warm water. I laughed bitterly. If it's warm water, why can't Samuel do it himself? As soon as I said it, Samuel walked over. "Jordan, sorry for bugging you, but my old back injury flared up again. The doctor said it's really not a good idea for me to get in the water. I can't accept that excuse." In our circle, many actors have pushed through injuries to keep filming on schedule. I shot an entire day of fight scenes once with a cracked rib. Samuel's eyes welled up with tears. "So are you saying I'm not dedicated enough? Fine, I don't need your help. I'll shoot it myself." He ran towards the pool like a stubborn kid throwing a tantrum. But after just a few steps, he clutched his lower back and squatted down, groaning. "It hurts so much, my back hurts." Isabelle rushed over, full of concern, and helped him up, her tone a mix of tenderness and indulgence. "If you know you have an old injury, don't push yourself." Then she turned to me, her expression icy cold. "Jordan, you're being too difficult. You have to film this water scene today, and it better be good enough for both Samuel and me." Maybe to punish me for being stubborn, they had me redo the scene over and over. Either Samuel thought my dive wasn't stylish enough, or Isabelle thought my expressions weren't right. The warm water in the pool gradually turned cold, freezing by the end. I felt like a robot, repeating the same water stunt again and again. My body got heavier, consciousness fading. Eventually, everything went black, and I passed out completely. When I came to, I was already lying in a hospital bed. Someone rushed over, dropping to their knees by the bed, and held me tight. It was Isabelle. Her eyes were red, panic-stricken, and her voice had a trace of tears. "You're finally awake. You scared me to death." When I woke up, my manager James and assistant Lisa were there, fussing over me along with Isabelle. James said the doctor told her that I fainted from acute pneumonia caused by being in ice-cold water for too long, and missed the clinic's final confirmation call. Isabelle was really upset and cried a lot, which is why her eyes were so puffy. "I'm sorry. If I had known, I wouldn't have let you do the water scene for Samuel. It was all my fault." You could see she genuinely regretted it, slapping her own face repeatedly. Watching the face I was so captivated by getting red and swollen from her slaps softened my heart instantly. "Don't hit yourself." I caught her hand and gently rubbed the tear mole at the corner of her eye. "If you keep this up, this face won't be beautiful anymore." Isabelle was incredibly touched, pulling my hand up to kiss its back softly. "You're so good. You know, when I pulled you out of the pool, I realized how important you are to me. You were so cold, and wouldn't wake up no matter what I did. I was terrified that you might never open your eyes again." She spoke through tears, asking me to promise not to leave her. I smiled and patted her shoulder, saying nothing. Isabelle seemed like a different person. During my hospital stay, she took care of everything herself, tending to me with meticulous attention to detail. Even when Samuel came with a fruit basket, Isabelle was polite but distant. "The doctor says Jordan needs to rest. If there's nothing else, you should leave." Samuel clearly didn't expect Isabelle to send him away, looking both surprised and hurt. After a while, he awkwardly asked, "Isabelle, can you walk me out? I have something to discuss." Isabelle just looked at me without saying anything. Not wanting to hear their conversation, I nodded. I'll be quick, Isabelle said as she followed Samuel out. In less than 5 minutes, she was back, her face looking a bit off. Samuel asked to borrow $2 million. Turns out, on the day I did that water scene for Samuel, someone on staff secretly recorded it and is using it to blackmail him. What puzzled me was why Samuel would ask Isabelle for money. Even though he divorced from his wealthy wife, his father Sam is connected to Michael, a big shot in business here, and Samuel's a trust fund kid after all. Seeing my confusion, Isabelle was hesitant to explain. She finally spoke after a long pause. Because Samuel isn't Michael's grandson. Half a year ago, Samuel's father Sam was diagnosed with leukemia and needed a marrow transplant. But due to his rare blood type, matching donors were hard to find. Seeing her husband's condition decline, Michael's daughter couldn't stand it, and a month ago had her son Samuel tested for a match. The match didn't work, but Michael noticed something in Samuel's blood type report. It was impossible for a grandson with that blood type to come from him and his daughter. Michael immediately had a paternity test done with his and Samuel's hair. It turned out Samuel wasn't actually his grandchild. Enraged, Michael investigated further, discovering that Sam, the audacious son-in-law, started an affair with a woman named Jennifer soon after marriage and kept her secret. On the day his wife gave birth, Sam orchestrated a baby swap. Listening to this wealthy family drama, the only thought going through my mind was that reality is even more of a soap opera than the stories you read about in novels. So Samuel's really got it rough. Isabelle sighed. All the drama from the past generation, and now he's the one dealing with it. I didn't say anything, but I was thinking, isn't Michael's own grandkid the real victim here? Supposed to be born with a silver spoon and all, but got his life swapped maliciously. Who knows if he's even alive? I was stuck at home for a month recovering, and Isabelle finally let me go back to my usual routine. Originally, Samuel wanted me to be his stand-in for the scene, but Isabelle wasn't having it. Nobody saw the accident coming. The special effects guy messed up, blew up all those spots early. Suddenly, flames were everywhere. Isabelle went crazy and ran toward the fire. Samuel, I said as I grabbed her. Don't. It's too dangerous in there. She gave me a complicated look. Samuel grew up spoiled and scared. Wasn't going to do this scene himself. Wanted you to fill in. But I rejected it. I couldn't focus on whatever her point was. All I knew was rushing in without any gear was a death wish. So I kept trying to stop her. Samuel's got luck on his side. He'll be all right. The firefighters are coming. Let's wait. She shoved me to the ground, eyes red. Get out of my way, I'm saving Samuel. Isabelle's desperate move saved Samuel with just minor injuries. But Isabelle? She got it bad. 20% of her body, deep second-degree burns, mostly on her face. After a ton of treatments, she mostly recovered. But her face, it was nothing like before. I freaked, spent a fortune on top docs, but they couldn't bring back her original face. Even her beauty mark below her eye, the one I loved, was gone. I was heartbroken, and Isabelle tried to comfort me, whispering, "It's all right. I'm a director, not an actress. I don't make a living off my face." I pushed her away, crying. "But that's the face I loved. What now? You don't look like her at all." Her smile froze. "What do you mean by that?" I didn't answer, just wiped my tears. "Isabelle, let's get a divorce." Isabelle couldn't believe it. "Jordan, do you know what you're saying? You love me too much to divorce me." Looking at her unfamiliar face, I felt hopeless. "Because I never loved you. Just your face that looked like someone I loved." Isabelle shot up, livid. "You're saying I was a stand-in? All these years, you saw me as a substitute? Jordan, have you no heart?" I chuckled coldly. "Isabelle, where do you get the nerve? Didn't you just use me as Samuel's stand-in?" She was quiet for a minute before speaking again, more calmly. "I admit, at first I saw you as Samuel's substitute. But Jordan, people have hearts. Over time, I really fell for you." Her words surprised me, but I didn't care. "Sorry, Isabelle, but you were always just a replacement for me." Her voice cracked a little. "Why? I fell for you, why couldn't you fall for me?" I laughed softly. "Because the person I loved was too incredible, and I can't love anyone else but her." I took Isabelle back to my hometown, City A. On the gravestone was the picture of a girl in her early 20s, looking so much like the old Isabelle, even down to that red beauty mark. Identical. Isabelle was shocked. I look way too much like her. Are we related? Kind of, I replied. The Howards died in an accident that year. With no family to take them, Joanna, 8, and Anna, 3, were sent to an orphanage. Joanna was beautiful and well-behaved, and some rich couple from City K wanted her. But she begged them to take her little sister Anna instead, promising never to disturb them. Anna ended up in K City with Isabelle's adoptive parents. The same day, because of my heart defect, the family who adopted me returned me to the orphanage. Joanna poured all her love into me, a sickly child her sister's age, and I was her little shadow. To pay for my heart surgery, Joanna worked nonstop as an adult. That day ended tragically, on my 18th birthday, when she was hit crossing the street by a drunk driver. The birthday cake she made for me was shattered. In her final moments, Joanna asked the orphanage head to give me her heart. But I keep all this from Isabelle. Joanna promised Isabelle's parents she'd never disrupt their lives. So I looked Isabelle in the eye, acting all casual. You and K City are a world apart. No way you're related. Lots of people look alike. Just look at me and Samuel. Mentioning Samuel, Isabelle's expression changed. I stopped talking and just crouched down, carefully sweeping the fallen leaves in front of the grave. Isabelle pursed her lips, her eyes filled with determination, like she'd made up her mind about something. Jordan, I've thought it through. Even if I'm just a stand-in, I'm willing. I shook my head. But I'm not, because you don't remind me of her anymore. Isabelle's eyes were starting to well up. Jordan, don't be so cruel, please. Just thinking about the days ahead without you by my side, even just imagining it, makes my heart ache so much I can't breathe. Then she suddenly paused. She grabbed my hand, looking down at my clean, ringless finger, her voice trembling. Where's the ring? Our wedding ring? Why aren't you wearing it? I chuckled softly and pushed her hand away. I took it off the day you left me, with a high fever, by the roadside to help Samuel find his dog. And see, you never even noticed. So, Isabelle, you don't really care about me, let alone love me. Isabelle burst into tears right away. Jordan, I'm sorry. I couldn't see clearly what was in my heart before, and that's why I did things that hurt you. But now, I promise, I'll prove to you with actions that I really do love you. Isabelle was adamant about not getting a divorce, even humbling herself by kneeling in front of me, crying and begging me not to leave. Jordan, how about I get plastic surgery? I'll make myself look more like Joanna. I know you've been bothered by the fact we didn't have a wedding. I'll arrange a grand ceremony for you right away. Okay? No way. I shook my head. Isabelle, I just want a divorce now because I can't keep fooling myself. Besides her face, there's nothing about you that resembles Joanna. I moved out of Isabelle's place and into a small apartment James rented for me. I was surprised when Mr. Michael showed up, but not at all when he handed me the DNA test confirming a grandparent-grandchild relationship. Even though Sam and I look more like our biological father, Sam, I still share a lot of similarities with Michael's daughter, whom I never met, my mother. The reunion with Michael was calm, no hysterics, no weeping. Sam initially didn't want Michael to find me and insisted I was dead. But with his condition worsening and needing a bone marrow transplant, fear of death made him talk. On the day I was matched as a donor for Sam, Isabelle called me. Jordan, I went to H country for surgery. I'll ensure I look more like Joanna than ever. For a moment, I was at a loss for words. Isabelle, it's really not necessary. I think it is, she interrupted. I'm already on the plane to H country, Jordan. Wait for me to return. Then she hung up. Back at Sam's hospital room, my billionaire grandfather pulled out a DNA test. Do you know why you and Samuel were a mismatch? Because he's not even related to you. Sam, you idiot, cheating on my daughter and bringing in a kid to replace your own son. Sam stared dumbly at the DNA results, crying uncontrollably. That day, he made his will. After he passes, everything he owns goes to me, his biological son. When the will took effect, my whole body trembled with excitement. I stole a glance at my billionaire grandpa, but he showed no emotion. The day of the transplant surgery, right when Sam was wheeled into the operating room, the doctor got a call. What? Jordan was in a severe car accident on the way here? Uncertain if he'll live? A week later, wrapped like a mummy, I went with Grandpa to see Sam one last time. Sam was a skeleton of a man, tubes everywhere. When he saw us, his eyes seemed to light up. Grandpa leaned down, whispering into Sam's ear with a chuckle. Seeing you like this really makes me happy. Sam's eyes widened in complete surprise. The car accident was a lie, Grandpa continued. I don't want my grandson donating his marrow to a scumbag like you. By the way, Samuel is actually your biological son. That DNA test was a fake I had made. And you didn't even trust him, looking the way he does, just like you? The machines went crazy, bringing in doctors and nurses. Sam lay still, unable to speak, his eyes filled with pain. Grandpa and I hugged each other, crying hard. Pull the plug, I don't want to see him suffer anymore. The medical staff quickly removed the life support tubes from Sam. Even when he passed, his eyes were wide open, not at peace. But neither Grandpa nor I cared. We rushed to have his body sent to the crematorium. When Jennifer and Samuel arrived, they only saw Sam's urn. Jennifer was about to put on a show of grief, but she got cut off by the reading of the will. This can't be. Jennifer freaked out. How could Sam leave everything to Jordan? I severely doubt the will's authenticity. Samuel backed her up. Yeah, this will is definitely fake. Dad loved me, there's no way he'd leave me with nothing. Grandpa handed him the fake paternity test with a smile. Because you're not his real son. After Samuel finished reading it, he seemed utterly crushed. He turned around and yelled at Jennifer, "What on earth did you do back then? How am I not my dad's son?" Jennifer looked completely wronged and bewildered. I didn't do anything. This test must be fake. No way, I demand we do another paternity test. Grandpa pushed Sam's urn toward him. Sorry, my son-in-law has been cremated, so we can't do another test. Jennifer's eyes rolled back, and she fainted on the spot. Following my billionaire grandpa's instructions, the big scandal at K Group was posted online that same day. Cheating, being cuckolded, fake and real heirs, it was a total attention magnet. Sam was a jerk, but he's dead. So people on the internet focused all their outrage on Jennifer, the mistress, and Samuel, the fake heir, instead. Both Samuel and I trended online again, but this time he was the one getting trashed. People pitted me, saying I had the classic tragic hero storyline. K Group stock prices went up instead of down, making my billionaire grandpa super happy. He not only gave me a no-limit credit card, but also gifted me a few buildings that rake in billions in rent every year. By the time Isabelle came back from her cosmetic surgery, Samuel had already been shamed out of the circle, blacklisted by the entire industry. Grandpa also took back all the assets Sam had given Jennifer over the past 2 decades. Overnight, Jennifer and Samuel lost everything. To be fair, Isabelle's recent surgery turned out pretty well. But maybe my perspective changed because no matter how I looked, I couldn't see even a hint of Joanna in her face anymore. So when she showed up at my door, I just handed her a printed divorce agreement. Let's get a divorce and part ways peacefully. If you keep refusing, I'll have to take legal action. Isabelle begged desperately. Jordan, don't do this, please. I really don't want a divorce. You think I don't look enough like Joanna, right? I'll keep getting surgeries until I do. Okay? Oh, by the way, I'm planning to reshoot that movie and this time you'll be the lead actor. I smiled. Isabelle didn't know that my billionaire grandpa had used his financial power to buy the movie rights from L Group. This project now belonged to K Group, so naturally, I'd be the lead. We'd be replacing the director too. While packing, I realized the little bunny plush Joanna gave me couldn't be found anywhere. I must have accidentally left it at Isabelle's when I moved. So I decided to go over and look for it. But I didn't expect Samuel to be the one opening the door. He was wearing my bathrobe, and his exposed skin was covered in love marks. Isabelle came at the sound, and seeing me, she was utterly stunned. She looked all panic-stricken as she grabbed my hand. Last night I was drunk, and Samuel was wearing your robe, so I mistook him for you. Jordan, the person I love is you, only you. I shook her off. Isabelle, is your idea of love saying you love me while sleeping with another man? This kind of love is just too disgusting. Isn't it? Isabelle's eyes reddened. Jordan, don't talk about me like that. Last night was really just a misunderstanding. I feel nothing for Samuel. Samuel looked hurt. Isabelle, you didn't say that last night when we were in bed. You shut up. Isabelle yelled at him. Samuel, I never should have taken you in yesterday. Samuel looked at her with sarcasm. Isabelle, weren't you the one who used to say you loved me so much you'd give up your life for me? Isabelle looked regretful. I was too young then to see my own heart clearly. But now I know who I love is Jordan. Samuel snorted. Either way, you've already slept with me. Last night, I recorded a bunch of photos and videos. If you don't take responsibility, I'll post everything online. Guess what people will say then? Isabelle was alarmed. Samuel, have you no shame left? Samuel forced a painful smile. I've got nothing left now. What face do I have to lose? I didn't want to watch them tear each other apart. Once I found my little bunny plush inside, I quickly left the mess behind. Isabelle left for South Korea again, saying she'd reshape her face to look like Joanna's to win me back. With her gone, the divorce got postponed again. Isabelle finally returned from South Korea, but unfortunately, her surgery failed. Having undergone too many procedures, her body developed side effects, and her face is now ruined. But Samuel didn't mind. Just after Isabelle and I got our divorce papers, Samuel rushed to get hitched with her, forcing her to take responsibility. Whether they have a wedding or not doesn't matter to him. For Samuel now, Isabelle is the only lifeline he has left, and he's not letting go. After that, Samuel moved in with Isabelle and homeless Jennifer. With my billionaire grandpa's intentional and unintentional actions, Isabelle's already struggling career completely tanked. She was miserable, moping around the house, drinking to forget her sorrows. Drunk, she'd fight with Samuel and Jennifer, making their life a chaotic mess. On the film's premiere night, Isabelle and Samuel made it to the news. When Grandpa heard about it, he just casually said, "What goes around comes around. No one gets away with anything." I didn't say a word, but inside, I was really moved. The day Isabelle was sentenced to death for murder, I got another Best Actor nomination. But weirdly enough, I wasn't happy. Why? Why do I have everything now, but still feel joyless? I went back to City A and cried all night by Joanna's grave. Grandpa dragged me back to City K and found the best therapist to talk to me. Yeah, I was sick. I've been sick since the moment Joanna left. I went chasing after Isabelle as if I was obsessed, even if it meant going through hell and back. But now, what's the point of my life? You still have your grandpa. You guys have been apart for over 20 years and just reconnected. Shouldn't you cherish that bond? And Joanna, before she died, she wanted to give you her heart so you could live for her. Didn't she? The therapist's words hit me like a wake-up call, making things a lot clearer. For Grandpa and Joanna, I have to live well. I gradually got better. With Grandpa's support, I set up the Joanna Heart Charity Foundation. We both dive into everything we do, helping wherever we're needed. All those smiling faces and thankful letters finally gave me a sense of purpose again. Joanna, don't worry. There's a long life ahead, and I'll live it brilliantly and fiercely.